Yes, sir, Ski. Y'all ready for the show?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm ready.
Get some of these popcorn now, boy.
Okay.
Y'all ready for the show? You ready to do it?
Yes, sir. Ready, Trey? I can't wait till the 3 minutes.
Let's go.
Cook Up Academy.
I know you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. She talk about it in every EP, leave you island. Don't nobody ever be on what she be on. This is LOL with QuiQui Symone. Life out loud. So can we please get a round of applause? You are not rocking with the best. Sit back and take notes. What you get drenched on the rainy days? What is an app for that? Like umbrella, sit back and take quote. Wait, I'm in cover. She mashed potato, her toppings, and just like gravy on top of it. Every topping she cover. I mean, it's QuiQui Symone. So when QuiQui come on, you should listen. She different from any other. Ask Mike up, I bet he say it's not a nail nutter. Like what you need, I bet she got it for you. Check the catalog, like well, oh well. Whether it's life out loud or you just need a laugh, it's LOL. Yeah, with QuiQui Symone, please leave me alone when the show come on. Don't touch that dial, lower your tone. I know you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. She talk about it in every EP, leave you island. Don't nobody ever be on what she be on. This is LOL with QuiQui Symone. Life out loud.
Did you miss me?
What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to a brand new season of LOL with QuiQui Symone. I am your girl, QuiQui Symone. Thank you all so very much for just continuing to ask about the podcast. Thank you for all of my LOLers, my faithful LOLers. Thank you all so much for continuing to really ask about the podcast. Encourage me to get back on it, because some people said that they missed it. Some people was like, I can't do without you, Kiki. So when are you going to bring it back? So guess what? We are back. And from now on, I promise y'all, we not going to, keep all this stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So I just want to thank every single person that has reached out to support. I really, truly appreciate all of the words of encouragement. I also want to just, for those of you, want to just ask, if you have not subscribed, can you do me a favor right now? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and then hit that notification bell, just so that every time we come on, you will be alerted for every single podcast. So I am super excited, everyone. This has been an amazing journey, honestly, for me, because I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about, during life and stuff like that. And as I am going through life and I'm walking through life, what I'm coming to realize is that it's a lot of stuff out here that we just don't talk about. And right here on LOL with QuiQui Symone, with your girl, what you're going to get is what we call the pink elephant. And the pink elephant, here we talk about different life issues, real life issues, different perspectives, and sometimes we even have some solutions. So on this season premiere, which I am so excited about, I really think that this is a good opportunity for us to really kind of dive into some really, really good things that we really don't talk about. But before I get into that pink elephant, I just want y'all to look at this amazing set, right? So you see, I know y'all see your girl, right? You see right here, we got the LOL mural right there and it's lit up. I know y'all like it. Just go ahead and put in the comments right now how much you like it. Tell me how much you like it. You want one? I bet you want one. I know you do. But anywho, this season, what you're going to see is we're going to be changing a whole bunch of stuff in the LOL studio. So this set that you see right now, may not be the set that you see in the next episode or the episode after that. So get prepared for a lot of change, because change happens in life, period. But I'm excited about what God is doing on this set right here. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get into our pink elephant. And our pink elephant this week is called Purpose and Platform. So you might be thinking, okay, Key, I know what purpose is. I know what platform is, or at least I think I do, right? So in everything that we do, every single thing that we do, we have a purpose for it, right? If you're going to the grocery store, you're going to go to the grocery store to get groceries, right? If you're going to the movies, it's to see a movie. We have a purpose for whatever it is that we're doing. And then let's take it a step further. When I mention platform, there's different types of platforms, right? So we have social media, where everybody thinks that they are the newscaster. They are the ones bringing all of the information, all of the tea, right? You got TV, you got radio, you got pulpits. I mean, you got stages, you got all different types of platforms. And so this, even here on YouTube, on this YouTube page, is a platform as well. So there's so many different types of platforms that people can have. So to kind of go back into what I called our pink elephant, which is purpose and platform, I want us really to talk about motives, right? So motives actually is something that it's our reason, it's our why, what drives us to do a thing, right? What is our reason for doing something? What is our reason for, starting that business? Or what is my reason for writing that book? What is my reason even just for having this podcast, right? So motives, really, they can be very genuine. They can be very genuine. Or some motives, they could be a little falsified, AKA a lie, or, there's something hidden in there, right? But eventually, if a motive is not good, if it's not pure, eventually that motive is going to come out. Wouldn't you say? I mean, that's what I really truly believe. So I kind of want to take you all on this journey, right? So I'm going to get a little comfortable. Y'all might see me going a little back and forth or whatever, but I want to get a little comfortable because I want to share something with you all. There was something that actually really disturbed me. A few weeks ago, I was, listening to podcasts because I do support other podcasts, and I believe that we all should. I was listening to this podcast, and I'm not going to put any names because that's not what I do. I'm not that girl, okay? But I was listening to a podcast, and in listening to it, it really made some thoughts and some passion come out of me that I really was like, oh my goodness, this would be a really good topic for me just to kind of dive into, because I was feeling a little different than what those who were on that podcast were saying. So let me kind of take you on a journey to this particular podcast. There were some artists, and I'm just going to say, because you all know I love CHH, Christian hip hop. There were some artists on that particular podcast. Also, there were consumers and, of course, people that entertain you, of course, because they have a podcast, right? And there was this one particular CHH artist that had come on, and he was saying, I've been in the game for a minute, right? I've been doing this thing for a minute. Now, I want you all to kind of follow along with me, because I'm going to kind of paint a picture here, but I want you all to really think about what's your motive for the thing that you're doing, right? So he was stating like, hey, I've been in the game for a minute, and by now I should have, this amount of popularity with people, right? I should have this amount of popularity amongst my peers. He felt like he was being overlooked, like the right people weren't looking at him to give him the credit that he felt he deserved. He didn't feel like he was getting the support that he needed from his peers, particularly from certain individuals. And I want to kind of pause right here, because when we think about when we're getting ready to start something or we're getting ready to do a thing, we have to kind of stop and think about, what's my motive for doing it, right? And is it really so that other people can see what you're doing? Is it to kind of flex in people's face? Is it because you truly, genuinely have a passion for something? Is that really the reason why you're doing this thing? And so I want us to, again, kind of go along on this story, take this trip with me, because I want you to think about why is it that you do what you do. So to kind of continue on with the story, this particular artist was saying, if this one person, would reach out to me or at least acknowledge me publicly, I would be good. I would feel solidified. I would have felt solidified. I would have felt as if like, hey, I'm really doing it. But I really kind of question, well, really, bruh, what was your reason for even doing it in the first place? What was your reason for saying that you were doing Christian hip hop in the first place? And my thought process is, if it's for anything other than God, then you're doing it wrong. I mean, bottom line is, if your motive for what you're doing, especially if we're going to put a Christian label on it, if you're doing it for anything other than for God to get the glory out of it, bro, you really doing it wrong. So I want us to think about also some things that come into play when we begin to actually begin a thing, to start a thing, to write that book, to start that business, to start that catering company, to start whatever it is that you believe that you've been called or what your purpose is, right? I want us to think about some of the things that come along with that, because we can easily get swayed by this spirit of competition. I remember Jonathan McReynolds, he had a song called Comparison Kills. And it's so true, because in this same interview, this same gentleman was saying, hey, I had somebody on my song, and I just felt like, hey, bro, I ain't gonna never let you beat me in my song again. Like, I'm gonna let you have it, but next time you're not gonna beat me in my song. And that really made me think about, bruh, for real, if what God has given you is the words that he gave you, why can't the words that God gave someone else be okay or be enough? What makes it enough? What do we deem as being successful? What do we feel success is? And why do we feel that we have to compete against someone else in order to make ourselves look good? And it also made me think about, as people, tend to compete, some people are not as good in their craft as, especially when you first start. So if any of you who have been following LOL with QuiQui Symone, me and my husband, we started with literally 2 little bitty tables that you eat on. We had like 2 microphones looking at each other, like face to face. We had cords and wires hanging everywhere, in his studio with the little fan going around at the top. And that's where we started. Now, if at that time where I started at, I felt like, you know what, I'm not going to do this because I don't have this, that, and the other, how far would I have really gone? Because at the end of the day, yes, equipment is important. Yes, being able to hear that quality sound is important. Yes, being able to be visual is important. But guess what? I didn't have anything visual at that time. I only had the 2 mics, and we plugged up to my husband's studio equipment. That was it. That's all we had. Then we ended up having 4 people in there. Then we ended up, and it was so hot in there, y'all. It just, oh my goodness. it was very hot, but it was definitely a very humbling experience. So even as you see, as I celebrate the victories, and I'm not even gonna call them small victories, I'm gonna just call them victories, because every little addition that God allows us to bring to every single episode is indeed a victory. So I say all of this to say that when someone is starting small, or, don't have enough to really make it this grandeur type deal, what we should be doing is encouraging them, right? Encouraging them to keep at it, encouraging them to strengthen their craft. And you can definitely help someone by strengthening their craft by simply saying, hey, bruh, hey, sis, I got this over here, or I know someone who does this that can help you out in this area. Or even, let's say, if it's music, and let's say it's not your cup of tea, but guess what? It's a cup of tea for everybody. Your cup of tea is not the only tea in the world. So you got to keep in mind that there are humble beginnings for a lot of people, but you've got to allow people to be able to grow. And just initially, just saying, hey, that stuff is trash. Your music is trash. To you, it's trash, but to somebody else, it may not be. I remember I was having a conversation with my husband, and I was telling him, because he hears artists all the time, and he's just like, hey, babe, just listen to this. What you think about this? And I'm just like, I don't know about that one. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Now, some things are not to my liking, but guess what? I am not the standard. I am not the standard. No one here is the standard. I'm not going to mention any names, but there's so many people that look at certain individuals within Christian hip hop to say, this is the standard. No, they are not the standard. They are walking in their purpose that God called them to walk in. So you've got to walk in yours. What success looks like to you should not be what the world's success looks like, right? It should be that I am well pleased from the Lord. That is what our success should look like. So I want us to think about when it is that we are getting ready to do a thing. What is our purpose for doing it? What is our motive for doing it? Because we all can have a platform, right? There are so many different platforms that people can have. You can have platforms through your music, just like my husband has his platform through his music, and he can put words together so eloquently. I can't do that. I can't even talk that fast. As y'all can see, I talk pretty slow. But, everybody has their own thing. Everyone has their own purpose. My purpose is not my husband's purpose. His purpose is not mine. My purpose is not yours, for the person that's listening or watching. Like, my purpose is not yours, and yours is not mine. I'm not the standard for you. Now, I can be an influence, definitely, but I'm not the standard. God is the standard. Whatever you do unto him, do it in excellence as best as you can in the moment. So I want to encourage us, because too many and too often what we do is we end up finding ourselves doing things that we really don't need to be doing, just so that we can say that, hey, I did it, or if I could just be like this person, like they had the commercial, like Mike, if I could be like Mike. No, nobody can be like Michael Jordan. No matter how many people are compared to him, no one is Michael Jordan. No one is LeBron. No one is Kobe. No one is Steph Curry. No one can be any of them except for them. No one can be you except for you. So walk in your purpose. Use the platform that God has given you to do whatever he's told you to do. And I also want us to think about this just as a last minute or my last little point here. The Bible talks about our soul prospering, right? The Bible says, I believe it's in 3 John in the 1st chapter, it says, beloved, I pray that you may excuse me, I pray that you may prosper in health and in all things as your soul prospers, right? So that means the inside of you has to prosper first, and then everything else will prosper as well. Now, what people seem to think about is prosper equals success. Well, guess what? Your girl did a little bit of research, right? So I want to tell y'all what I found prosper, or what the definition for prosper to mean. And what it says is furthermore, the word prosper in the Greek literature means to help on the road or succeed in reaching. So it's very, very clear that from this particular definition that prosperity is more than just money, right? We're talking about our soul prospering and whatever we do after our soul prospers, right? So it says that it's very clear that from this definition that prosperity is more than money and the accumulation of wealth, but rather an ongoing state of success that touches every area of our lives. So that's more than your finances, right? That's more than getting, having the stages where the masses know who you are. Prosperity really is, you can prosper in your health. You can prosper in so many areas of your life. If you are truly, truly prospering in your soul, everything else is going to be added unto you. So there's nothing to have to compete for. There's nothing to have to compare against. So I want you to think about, hey, what is my purpose? And am I using my platform for the right thing? Am I using my platform properly? Whatever that platform is, whether it's at your job, whether it's at your school, wherever it is at church, make sure that you're using your platform properly and make sure that you have the right purpose and the right motive. So everyone, that is our very first episode for this season of the LOL with QuiQui Symone. I really hope everyone did get something out of this, because it really does challenge us to look at ourselves to see, why am I doing what I'm doing? Am I going to start this year off just continuing to do the same thing I did last year? Or am I going to change some things and really look at myself and evaluate myself to see, am I really walking in my purpose? And the things that I am walking in, what's my motive for doing it? So with that stated, I want you all to think about that until next time. And until next time, this is your girl Kiki from LOL with QuiQui Symone, and